Traditional Blouse Needlework Chronicles. Adjust the fabric to fit your needs. Week 9, a sin with path, another dimension.
Well, hello. I'm getting closer and closer to the finish of this project. I almost miss my blouse. I know that it's going to be ready soon and I really liked working on it. But I am now at this moment when I have to prepare all the stitches required to adjust the fabric to fit the needs, which means creases and smoking. So I'm going to use two different techniques because I have two different needs. First of all is that I have to, this is mandatory, I have to gather all the pieces of fabric around the neck. And so I need quite a dramatic adjustment of the fabric. And I create this using a basic stitch, going with a needle up and under the fabric. And then you see, I simply pull the threads. I decide which is the size of the final gathering, and then I will simply make knots here. These two threads are going to form one knot, this another one. I'm going to show you details, but I'm still working on it, so I want you to see all the progress step by step. I used the same type of yarn as used for the feston stitch, so it's a protective thread, a strong cotton, well twisted. It could be Chebelia from DMC, or it can be another macrame yarn. I think I used one from Madame Tricot, the same producer, which provided the cotton perlé for the edges. This is very easy. Maybe you wonder how I count the threads, how bigger are the steps, and in this case I used even step on top and under the fabric, 4 threads up and 4 threads under. But sometimes you can decide to make an uneven step, creating different forms for these creases, because if you go with longer distances underneath, then you are going to have a taller crease on top. So this is how you decide. And after creating all these creases, I'm going to add the collar on top of this edge. I think that normally this shirt was supposed to have different form of gathering around the neck, but honestly, because I intend to wear it, I want to use this newer form with a different piece of fabric, which is going to be the collar. I already started to work on the bracelets, so you see there are fine pieces of fabric. Later on I will create like this to protect the edges towards the middle, and this is going to be the final band, and I will add this like a roof on the top of the creases. And I prefer to use several layers of fabric because I could do it with less, because I want this to be strong, right? I don't want to be something too fluid. I want this necklace or bracelet to stay firm and give a nice shape. If I would use less fabric here, it would be there will be waves of fabric formed. So this is what I'm doing. I think I'm going to need at least 2 more parallel lines, so at least a minimum of 6, at least if not 8. I have plenty of room for this because I didn't start with the first embroidered pattern too close to the edge, so I have plenty of room to do this. And later on you're going to see me creating a stitch on top of these creases, because why? A gathering like this is not fixed. As you can see, it's flexible, and I don't want this to happen to my shirt. So I will add another, of course the collar on top of them is going to fix them a little bit, but I also need a visual. I need color. I mean, I don't want to have such a big contrast between the collar and the creases, and I'm going to create something in between. Of course, I'm going to show everything to you at the last stage, which is dedicated to bringing all the pieces together and closing the shirt, closing the project. So this is a very simple technique. You only have to go with the needle forward, and maybe it's not need to show you. But I prefer to dedicate time to demonstrating this stitch, which is a fright for many of our colleagues. Why is that? Because of a rumor. It was spread that a rumor that it's a difficult technique, and it is a misconception, because you read about it that it's difficult, and you don't even try. You freeze reading impressions. But once I'm going to show you how simple it is to make it, I hope you're going to have courage to try. First of all, I have to explain myself a little bit. It happens that in the first place I started the pattern using the same thread as here, because most of the shirts are created indeed using a solid thread, exactly like this one used for protection or for the other type of creases, right? It's a functional stitch. I need a solid yarn, for sure not silk, for sure not fancy cotton. But I looked back to the printed pattern, and I realized that it has a yellowish shade, and I've decided to change accordingly. It doesn't mean that I will not remove this from here, but it's not an emergency for me. I'm not obsessed of this, let's say, mistake. I'll do it later. My priority now is to finish the pattern, and maybe I might even decide to keep it as it is, because it is part of the story. It's going to prove my negligence, is going to make my shirt unique, and people might ask what happened there. Well, it happened that I didn't look to the model. I got carried away, let's say. I had the other thread in the needle, and I just started, because I like doing this kind of stitch very, very much. So this technique is using different steps. You're not going with lines like this, although on the face of the fabric we see horizontal lines, right? The thread has a sinuous path because I'm going with horizontal lines on the front and verticals on the back. It means I'm going like some sort of a snake. I'm going like this. Again. It's a sinuous path which offers stability to this type of smoking. I mean, for sure, the threads are going nowhere. And in the end, after wash, we're going to see that this part is a little bit elastic. I like this. So, another issue is that what we see as a pattern is, in fact, this time, the neglected space. We translate it from Romanian, it would be the spared fabric. I mean, we don't embroider on it, we don't stitch on it. It's the white, it's the negative in this case. So basically we could do this kind of stitch, filling up everything. Just brick by brick, step by step, we can go one row, one column, and we will finish it, right? But making larger steps time to time, larger steps on vertical, on the back, gives us wide spaces on front. Simply jump a pair of threads. It's easy. I promise you, it is so simple. And I checked on this. When I was in Tokyo, we had a workshop and I was supposed to teach ladies something nice. And I showed them these techniques. They liked it the most. They required actually to do this. And they asked, is it simple? It was translated to me, the question, and I said, no, you can't even imagine how simple it is. Not complicated at all. It's not simple, very simple. And they were enthusiastic, and because they didn't know the prejudice, the misconception, they created it in few minutes. So maybe sometimes it's important just to try and don't believe everything that majority speaks. And the fact that many people have an opinion doesn't make it correct, because they didn't even experiment it. The type of yarn that I'm using, it's a moulinet yarn, and it's composed, the thread is composed from 6 very fine threads, and it would be too full, too rich, it would add too much color, it would be too yellow afterwards. So I decompose it, I removed 2 of the threads. I'm going to use them with another 2 from the next yarns, and so I have 4 threads left. I'm going to work with 4. I'm going to start, I don't know which half I should start working on, because I already started working on both sleeves. I don't know why. I don't know why. I marked the place where I will stop eventually, which is like 2 fingers, more or less 2 fingers from the altiza. Because I don't want to be too close, I don't want to be ambiguous, so that's why not 1 finger. I thought it not might be decisive. 2 fingers distance from the place where altiza will come. As you can see, the fabric is a bit stretched on vertical as well, but very little, very little. It's just the length that is gathering. So I will just work slowly. I will take this sleeve, the other one I will leave it aside. I have no idea why I started both, honestly. So I won't start with the yarn directly in this spot. I will secure it in the margin of the fabric. I have the pattern here to remind me where I was. So I have to repeat the column here. It's a modular pattern, of course, so I am on this line. I make a double step here at the top. I will pull a little bit. I will hold it tensed, the thread, and now I go on vertical. I'll try to zoom a bit for you. And the whole point is that I stretch a little bit this thread. Not too much to damage everything, but just a bit, as you can see. And now I have a longer step on the back and the white space on the top of the fabric. Made a mistake, I simply go back. It is very simple to undo, but you have to be careful not to pass with the needle through the yarn. You have to avoid pushing into the yarn, especially if you work with several threads together. Usually these patterns are composed with groups of four lines, but now I have to make 5 because I need to create the angle, and the step on vertical is 3. And now I'm going to take care of this little seed in the middle of the diamond. In this case, we can say the diamond, yes, is a symbol of fertility, especially when we see that we have seeds in it. These seeds are also useful for a break in the white space, because we cannot make it too high. So it has a double purpose, a beautiful meaning, but a very precise function. As you can see, so I'm not going here, it's a 1, 2, 3, and I have this break, and I pull. Now another space, not here, 1, 2, 3. Now I have 5. You can see 4. I have my break, and this is the maximum height for this triangle. I just hope I don't get out of the camera. I have to look in the camera as well to make sure I stay in. I think it's a very beautiful stitch. I have not seen it outside Romanian traditional textiles. Maybe if you did, please let me know in the comments. I would be very interested to see if this type of stitch is used elsewhere, because I always like to make connections and discover great ideas in several different cultures. But in general, I could notice that smoking techniques are rather often used in Europe. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 leads me here, and I am growing. You can see this angle is opening. I am convinced that this saying is right. Great minds think alike. And when you face similar problems, if you follow a certain logic, you have a good chance to end up with the same conclusion, same solution. And I know, for instance, that I was very impressed, speaking about Tokyo, I was very impressed to see that people had to manage in Japan, especially far north, they had to manage with different resources, with practically almost no wool. And for us in Romania, wool is a great asset, a great resource, the sheep in general. And when it's cold, you simply take a sheepskin vest on top of the shirt and you're done. But if you don't have sheep, you have to find so many other different solutions to keep you warm. And I could see people creating clothes from different layers of fabric sewn together, 1, 2, 3, in order to fight the cold. The Boro clothes, the Ainu people, wow, it's impressive. And for the rich, 1, 2, 3, there was always available enough silk to give them several layers of kimonos. But for the vast majority of the people, silk was not available, so they were using several layers of hemp fabric sewn together, sometimes with a filling in the middle, like a blanket, let's say. Impressive. You don't even realize how important it is to have a sheep, really. So now I continue. Very soon I'm going to start a new line. Once I reach the top, I will make let's say a U-turn, and I will return on the other column. I really like this stitch. When you are in a big community, you can use, sometimes we can exchange or we can trade between techniques. For instance, I don't like to make azure, and I would offer in exchange to work this încreț gathering. Now I have to make the big jump. 4, and 3, out, now I have a bigger jump again, 5, you see, it's not difficult at all. You just have to pull the thread a little bit more than usual. And my advice, my suggestion would be that you try this stitch first without pulling the fabric. get familiar with making the steps. And when you feel confident, start pulling a little bit, slowly, little by little. And after you have a little bit of experience, you will manage to have this stitch created in a constant way. Now I have to make the break. One of the threads unfortunately broke in the process because of there is friction and there is tension, so I suggest you use shorter threads. The next jump. Oh, I'm so sorry, my thread is about to end because I have to stop, and I promise you, once you get used with this stitch, it's very difficult to stop. It's very rewarding, I think. And now I'm going to fix it on the back. To have a solid fix, I will pass it through the back of the double little holes. And I will do the U-turn underneath. Make sure the yarn will remain here. So again, is it simple? No, it's not simple. It's very simple and very rewarding and very wow. And when the fabric will shrink after washing, will have a spectacular effect. Let me show you. This is another Blashka shirt that I made with a stitch. And the beauty of the stitch is unique. Please let me know if you found it on different other textiles. This pretty volumetric shape. Wow. I have to tell you the story of this shirt when I'm done, and for the moment I will enjoy finishing this this smoking encoded, as we call it. I'm now ready to work on the gathering around the neck, and for this I am preparing threads that are longer than the length of the fabric, because I'm going to make a U-turn here, which is going to be the middle of the chest, and I'm using the same thread for making 2 parallel lines. Why is that? Because I don't want to have these edges that I have here in the back, I don't want to have them here in front, and the little knots, the best. And I'm going to show you now how easy it is to work on this. So you can see I have a different step. I'm working with 2 pairs, therefore 4 threads on top of the fabric and 4 threads underneath the fabric. So I take even steps on top and under. But now I've decided to change the steps, the formula for this part where I have the pattern, just because I want to have it creased by a different formula. I want this area to be less gathered. I want to emphasize this pattern. I don't want to have it too gathered, so I lose the step a little bit. It won't be such a dramatic difference, it's going to be quite subtle, but I want to do it. I know how to I have the power to keep this under control by changing the length, the size of the steps on the length of the fabric. As you can see, it's a very easy stitch. I wouldn't call this embroidery. This is stitches, and this is how sometimes I make the difference in terms. I would call this embroidery and this is a functional stitch. Although many people use the same word for everything. In Romanian we call this coase, to stitch, a coase. And as for the embroidery, the old term was to write. The term we are using today is a broda, which is most probably imported from France, along with many other new terms. But the old way of calling this action, of imprinting symbols into the fabric, was associated with writing. So you see, we go quite fast. I have 3 couples, therefore 6 threads distance between two lines. And since I am using long threads like this, which are going to make the U-turn, I will have even number of lines, so it will be very easy to make the knots. They are in pairs, and I'll go here. If you do the counting right for the first line, it's easier for the following lines because you have a guideline. You don't have to count all the time. Since I have a very small step to take here, I can not take more on the needle in the same move. But as soon as I will get to the area with the larger steps, I can show you that you can take 2 steps on the needle in the same time. Look, I'm going 2 underneath, 2 couples on top, 2 underneath. So I have changed the step a little bit, and since the fabric is more flexible, I can do more steps in the same time. See? It's not so much about moving the needle, but I'm using also the left hand to prepare the fabric to fit in the right position for my needle. Because the needle itself is not flexible, it's made of steel, but the fabric is quite intuitive. Very soon I'm done. And what else it's important to tell you is that the more you go on the edge, the better the creases will form. If you don't use this line, you start from here, you'll have something like a cauliflower here, because this fabric will remain free, won't be under your control. So you need to go as closer to the edge as possible. Ready soon. As now I meet the place where the fabric is folded. I do each step individually because the fabric is stiff on this area. It's okay. I'll remove the needle. I'll make a knot, temporary, will stay here. And now I will start from this edge, slowly. Okay, slowly I will form these creases. You see, they are in good order, in good shape. A little bit of a cauliflower. I couldn't do it too much. And then I translate these creases to the end. I don't pull everything at once. Do you see here the fabric is not so abruptly creased, and in the end it's going to be something like this, more or less. I'll have something like 8-9 centimeters in the end. This will be covered by the collar, but still I have to add 2 more lines here underneath, so the area will be taller. I will release the tension now. I will release the creases because I still have to add 1 more line, 1 more thread, which means 2 lines, and I hope you find it easy and relaxing and do it in no time.